What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the Ultimate Rebuild series, where we are moving on to a fresh and brand new division, and we are going to be looking at the AFC North, starting in 2005 here with the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to be going through 5-year intervals, starting with the Ravens, moving on to either the Bengals, Browns, or Steelers. Over the next 20 years, we're going to be competing against ourselves to try and establish a true superstar team within said division. We've done the 05 rebuild with starting point once with the NFC North. We kind of had some ups and downs, had some failures with the Bears, even though our team was OP. Minnesota Vikings didn't go so hot, but then we ended up going to the Detroit Lions, building a superstar team, winning a Super Bowl, and then finishing that rebuild series with the Green Bay Packers winning another Super Bowl. So the bar has been set at 2 out of 4. I look to break that today as we start with the Baltimore Ravens here in 2005. Looking at our base roster, there is big-time question marks over the quarterback position, which I'm not going to lie is a big reason why I selected the Baltimore Ravens. They have Kyle Bowler, they have Derek Anderson. Not much there. They have Jamal Lewis, who, honestly, when you look back at the 2000s, might be one of the most underrated running backs of that era. He's very good. He's 26, so for a 5-year rebuild, we should be able to run him into the ground. There's no real other way to put that. Wide receiver, don't have all up there. We have Derek Mason, who's, he's solid. More of a slot type guy. You have Mark Clayton, got some good speed to him. He's a rookie, 23, 76, quick dev. He's really the only wide receiver that we have some upside with. I'm going to look to try to make a trade here. If we can find one. We have Todd Heap, one of the best tight ends of the 2000s. He's a 91. He's 25. No worries about that. Offensive line looks decent, but they're kind of old. You have John Ogden, one of the best tackles ever to play the game, but he's 31. Not much depth there. Mike Flynn, solid, but he's 31. We have Zeus Brown, Orlando Brown, who's actually currently on the Ravens. His father, he's 26, so I'm not too worried about him. Ultimately, you go look here. We do have some Adam Terry, 6'8", 330. But he's 20, you could probably make him, we're actually going to take him and move him to left guard, get him involved as soon as possible, try to utilize that dev trait. And plus, he's just, that's not that ridiculous size of a guard, and actually an upgrade, so there we go. When you look at the defense, there's always been a strong defense. We have Anthony Weaver. This is going to be one of the prime candidates. I'm going to see if we can move for a wide receiver because we have Jarrett Johnson. Well, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember Anthony Weaver on the Ravens, but Jarrett Johnson was really solid, and he has a star dev trait, so we'll try to get him on the field as soon as possible. We have Terrell Suggs. Superstar, no other way to put it. He's a freak, and we're going to be going off with him. On the defensive line, inside we have Kelly Gregg, 83, Franklin, 81, DeJuan Edwards, 78. There's some solid depth there. Thomas at outside linebackers in 83. We have Peter Ballware, really, really good in the early 2000s, starting to get the end of his prime here. He is an 82. Dan Cody, a 75 rookie. Okay. We got Ray Lewis. It's Ray Lewis. He's 30. He's 94. Unfortunately, starting at 05, you're going to be getting, the tail end of his career. Hopefully, he could still play as well as he did in real life into his late 30s. We got Bart Scott, who's also a really talented linebacker. Tommy Poley, not going to lie, no idea who this is, but we'll take him. In secondary, we have Chris Mcallister, who actually falled off more than any quarter I remember. I remember he was literally one season. This is when I was starting to get into football hardcore. I was Chris Mcallister is one of the best corners in Madden, one of the best corners in football. Then he just literally went to free agency, never played again. It was really weird, but he's 97. We have Samari Roll, 91. Prime time still kicking around here, 83. In the secondary, we have Will Dempsey, who's a 77. You have Ed Reed, who's a 97. A little bit worried about that age, though, at 27. For a 5-year rebuild, he's going to be regressing pretty hard when all is said and done. Our special teams is pretty good as well. So, yeah, man, that is the Baltimore Ravens. We need a quarterback. We need some wide receivers. We have some players that we could try to move around for a wide receiver. Let's see if I can get a trade partner. Halfway point of year one, we're 4-4 right in the mix. I think given how much our offense is lacking in terms of quarterback and wide receiver, I'll take that. Tied for first in the North. My God, the Browns are doing terribly. Looking at our own contract extensions. First up, we got Ed Reed. Absolutely retaining him. You can't let him walk anywhere. Derek, we got some old dudes that are going to regress. Derek Mason is our best wide receiver, but he's going to probably fall down into the 70s. So we're going to make sure that we don't overpay when it comes to him. Bart Scott's good linebacking depth. Got that superstar dev trait, so make sure we get him locked up. Other than that, man, not much I'm worried about here for our team. We'll try to get Orlando Brown. And other than that, got to get younger. And at the end of year number 1, even though we got 2 straight victories, too little too late, 7-9 for a team that straight up has no offensive weapons outside of our running back and tight end. There's not much of a wide receiver. We don't have a quarterback. It's kind of expected. Let's be completely honest. Looking at the stats, I mean, neither QB was good. Kyle Boyer wasn't good. We gave Derek Anderson a run of games at the end of the season. Wasn't much better. Running attack was fine. Jamal Lewis almost 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. We'll take that. No 1,000-yard receivers, but Todd Heap. That's a really good season. 85 catches, 900 yards, 7 tutties. Mason and Clayton weren't too bad. Defensively, 125 tackles from Ray Lewis, 7 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, and an interception. We got 9 sacks, 17 TFLs from T. Sizzle. Lighten it up. Primetime got 2 picks. Ed Reed with 2 picks as well. Quick look at the yearly awards. Tom Brady got himself the MVP award. I don't think you're going to see very many Baltimore Ravens on this list, but we'll double check. Jamal Lewis at number 9 for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to Patrick Surtain of the Kansas City Chiefs. Jesus Christ, the Chiefs defense were good. Ray Lewis coming in number 9. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to, these are all glitched anyway, so I don't even want to look at it. So year 1 was not great, but we need to do something to get some wide receivers, to get a quarterback, get younger on the offensive line. Get younger when we look at the secondary. So big offseason here for the Baltimore Ravens as we get ready for year number 2. Looking at free agency, we're not going to be too crazy this year. We're looking more so at finding a dime in the rough. We're looking at Jabbar Gaffney, deep threat, 25-81, would instantly come in as our best wide receiver. Joselio Hansen, more so like a guy we're taking a flyer on. We're the Baltimore Ravens, okay? We can develop corners. So he's 24-77. We got 2 special teamers and a depth safety. Not an exciting period, but should be able to slowly build up our roster as we go towards a very important draft. As we look towards the draft, I feel like when you use these legendary rosters, look at the first round. Just straight up, we don't need a running backs. Could technically, Santonio Holmes could be an interesting option at wideout. We're good at tight end. Of course, the one time, we've seen this draft a couple times, Vernon Davis falls to us. We do not need a tight end whatsoever. There's some options on the offensive line, but our O-line, generally speaking, is not bad. So I think we should take a flyer on Matt Leinart, Heisman Trophy winner from USC, and try and salvage and turn his career around. He was super hyped, man. He was super good in college. So let's see what we're getting here. Hands on, 77 quick is Matt Leinart. Oh boy, let's go. Let's turn around his career. It's not just about drafting incredibly well and drafting all the cheese picks. Every now and again, let's do that goodwill. Let's do that restoration project, and that is Matt Leinart as a franchise quarterback and panning out from the uber-hyped USC Heisman Trophy winner. So taking a look at our draft recap in the first round. As you saw, we got Matt Leinart. We didn't have a whole lot of draft picks. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Kind of annoying. Not going to lie. Was kind of led. Thought I had a 7th, and I was going to select Marcus Colston, but instead we got Tramon Williams. Not a great trade-off, but so we got Matt Leinart. We're going to try to salvage his career and turn him into, a franchise quarterback. That is what he was drafted and billed as coming out of USC. 3rd round, though, stud pick. Jari Evans, Texas A&M, 77, superstar guard. That is huge for our team. 4th round, we got Stephen Tulloch, depth linebacker. 5th round, we got Joe Kloffenstein, tight end from Colorado. For those who watch like Brendan Schaub and Fighter and the Kid and what they call him, the podcast theme. He's like his best friend. He's been in they talk about him quite a bit. Super athletic tight end. And then we got Tramon Williams at free safety. I want to see so bad. Just give me a second here. Is he still a free agent? Please say Mark. Oh, God, he went to the Steelers. He's winning our own division. We passed on him. 74 star dev. And we also passed on Miles Austin. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Quickly looking at how the rest of the teams in the division drafted. The Pittsburgh Steelers got Reggie Bush in the 1st round. Daniel Bullock 2nd round. Brandon Marshall. They added Brandon Marshall and Marcus Colston in the same draft. Annoying. Very annoying. The Cincinnati Bengals got Dante Whitner in the 1st round. Tim Jennings in the 2nd round. And the rest of their draft wasn't anything great. They got Brad Smith. Remember, he was like a utility guy for the Jets. And then looking at the Cleveland Browns at pick 1 overall, they selected Vince Young, quarterback from Texas. Cedric Griffin. I'm not going to lie. No, Elvis Dumerville in the 3rd is really good value with his dev star dev. They got John McCargo, 76 normal. I'm not going to lie. No idea who that is. But really solid draft there from the Browns. But I'm going to give the slight nod. The slightest nod to the Baltimore Ravens for having the best draft in the division. So as we get ready for year 2, here's how our team is shaping up. We did a little bit of some free agency wire stuff that I will break down. But look at the offense changes. Jari Evans, probably our best pick of the draft, and that is even including our hopeful new franchise quarterback. We'll be starting at right guard. Everything else will remain the same. At wide receiver, we brought in this guy as a UDFA, Devin Arushmadu, 71 quick dev, 95 speed, 94 acceleration. So we're gonna welcome him into the lineup. Obviously, at quarterback, we got Matt Leinart. Let's go, man. Try to turn around his career. It's the whole point of doing some of these flashback franchises. We signed Maurice Clarett. If you ever want to find like the most polarizing, interesting running back story from college, basically he wanted like LeBron it. He wanted to play 1 year at college, then go right away into the National Football League. It was a 30 for 30 about it. Anyways, he was sitting on the wire, so we'll make him actually our backup to Jamal Lewis. Defensively, changes. Tramon Williams, our 6th round draft pick, will be starting at free safety. Other than that, no changes to be had in the secondary, and defensive line remains the same. So we got a lot of consistency there. 95 overall defense. So let's see if we can, with Matt Leinart, get more than 7 wins in year 2. Midway point of year 2, we're 5-3. Sometimes all it takes is bringing in a new quarterback, a fresh change of pace on the offense. We're tied for first in the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-3. Look at our own contracts. Terrell Suggs is a 99 superstar. He's one of the best defensive ends in football, so we're going to lock him up very, very quickly. Samari Rolle, he is 30. He is about to regress, but it's only a 1 year deal, and he's still, with that regression, going to be 85 at the worst, 84 at the worst. So we'll actually come back to the table, make sure we can lock him up. Franklin is really solid, 85. He's 26, so we got him. Flynn, 2 year deal. He's going to regress probably to an 80, 81. Center, I'm not too worried about. It's easily the least important spot on the offensive line, so we'll get him locked up. Jarrett Johnson, nice defensive end. I'm not going to go over the moon if he doesn't want to take that deal, but he did. We have Pashos, good solid depth on the offensive line. Get him locked up. So I wonder if he's related. Marcus Ogden to John Ogden. I don't know, but we will come back to the table with Samari Rolle. Other than that, very interested in keeping all of our free agents in-house this season. Year 2 has come to its conclusion, and we got that wild card berth. 9-7, going to be hosting the 9-7 Miami Dolphins. Shout out to Matt Leinart getting the job done. Jamal Lewis also looks like he carried the offense here just a little bit. Our team's good, 91, 93, 97 across the board for overalls, winning the AFC North by 1 game over the Pittsburgh Steelers. 9-7, inversing our record from a year before. Matt Leinart, very impressive. Almost 4,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns to 9 picks on the season. Almost 1,600 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns from Jamal Lewis. He's a beast. Jabbar Gaffney, our under-the-radar free agency side. Look at that, 81 catches, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. He wasn't even our slot wide receiver. Arushmadu was, and he did pretty good. By the time you go over 1,000 yards, I'm shocked, to be completely honest, if you're not the slot wide receiver. So that is huge. I love the chemistry between him and Leinart already. Paulie had a huge season for the team here. 124 tackles, 6 TFLs, 7 sacks. We got T-Sizzle, 24 TFLs, 11.5 sacks on the year. Where's Ray Lewis? Hey, Lewis, do more. Do more, Ray Lewis. 3 picks, Samari Rolle, 2 for Chris Mcallister. Quick look at the yearly awards. That's not what I wanted. MVP with the JP loss. You gotta see weird things. In the Ultimate Rebuilds, because you can't control some of these guys. They go on their own, and they have their own careers in Madden that differentiate from where they were in their real lives. So number 6 for Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC was Jamal Lewis. Defensive Player of the Year went to Jonathan Vilma, with Paulie coming in at number 2. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Matt Leinart. It's a beautiful thing. But Vince Young, that could be a big-time rivalry. It was in college, and look, they're in the same division. Both had a lot of success as a rookie. Klobuchar coming in number 8. Man, lots of AFC North represented here for the rookies. Brandon Marshall's there. You got Reggie Bush for the Steelers. So, hey, it's going to be competitive. Defensive rookie there with the Dante Whitner of the Bengals within the division. Doomerville, number 2. Tramon Williams coming in at number 5. It's a huge division, man. It's going to be uber competitive, and I'm glad that all these teams got nice young talent, but it starts with our young talent, which propelled us into the playoffs in year 2 of the 5-year Ultimate Rebuild. So let's sim this game here against the Dolphins and hopefully get this young team that's mixed with an experienced defense a playoff victory. In the wild card round, we handled the Miami Dolphins 24-10 on the day. Clean performance from Matt Leinart. Wasn't anything spectacular. Jamal Lewis pounded that rock. And on the defensive side, T-Sizzle, 3 sacks. Thomas, 2. A single for Cody and Johnson. 2 picks, Mcallister and Hansen. Defense getting the job done, setting up an AFC divisional game against the Tennessee Titans. And unfortunately, that is where our journey is going to end as we followed the Titans 24-16. Titans were, over the period of the games, you look at the box score, the better team of the two. We made a late push, too little too late. Leinart was okay. Our run game was a little bit non-existent. Defensively, sacks were down, no turnovers. So, the better team won on this day, but we're young, even though, we're getting a little bit old with the Ray Lewises and the Ed Reeds and the John Ogdens. This core of this team, now Matt Leinart's team, future is bright. Let's get into the year 2 offseason. So take a look at how our draft went. Oh, we could have had such a better draft. I'll tell you right now, in the first round, Joe Thomas somehow almost slipped to us. And then in the third round, Marshall Yanda, who's very popular with the Baltimore Ravens, almost slipped to us. We just missed out on both of them. Still had a good draft. First round, we got Ted Ginn Jr., adding some speed to wide receiver. Second round, we got Paul Posluszny. Our linebackers are getting up there in age just a little bit. He's a 77 star. Pretty flexible. We can play him pretty much anywhere. Third round, a little bit of not a great pick considering the rest, but the dev trade is good. We get Deshaun Goldson, known as one of the bigger hitters in the league. Had some really good seasons with the 49ers. We're actually going to probably convert him to be strong safety for the time being. We got Brent Selleck as depth at tight end. We got Jarvis Moss, who was a projected first-round pick, was still there in the 5th round, so he said, sure, we need another defensive end. We got a center and a corner. I'm not going to lie, pretty much for most of these drafts from like 5th, 6th, and 7th round, I'm going for either if someone slips or just depth with real picture. So we're able to add that. Really solid draft. Looking at the rest of the division, the Pittsburgh Steelers got Ryan Khalil, 79 star dev center. Josh Wilson's a 77. That's pretty much it. But, not a bad draft. The Bengals got Joe Staley at pick 6 over Joe Thomas. Is very weird. Joe Thomas is still on the board. Aaron Sears, Quentin Moses, Dwayne Jarrett. Not a bad draft. To finish on with the Browns, they got Megatron. Top 3 picks going to do it. They got Vince Young last year. Now they throw in Megatron. Justin Blaylock, 78. They got Michael Bush. All right. We'll probably have to give it to the Browns just because they found a way to get Calvin Johnson. I'm actually super pumped to be able to take over the Browns whenever that happens. But at least reflecting on our own draft, it was solid. It was good. We got some playmakers. Let's go into the next season. So we're here for year 3, shaping up to be a big year. 91 overall team, 93 offense, 95 defense. Changes on the offense. We're not seeing much. We're seeing Evans develop into one of the better guards. Our offensive line is very good. Todd Heap's a 95. Leinart's up to an 81. We add Ted Ginn to the wide receiver core, so hopefully we got a lot of speed between Ginn, Clayton, and Jabbar Gaffney. Looking on the defensive side, we are a 95 in terms of changes. I don't think much has changed. We've added some depth, changed around things at free safety. We have Carter being free safety, moves Tramon Williams back to cornerback. And other than that, man, we are ready to go and win another divisional title and to get into the playoffs. Let's go year 3. So halfway point of year number 3, we're 5-4, which is not at face value a great record, but we're tied for first in the division, so we'll take that. Looking at some contracts that we want to extend, we got Chris Mcallister wants a 1-year deal. I'm not worried about the regression taking too much of a hit. Same with John Ogden. We might have to come back to the table for Ogden as well, but obviously the higher dev trait, the less likely that they're going to regress big time. We just can't let Ray Lewis go. He's got to stay on this team till he retires. DeJuan Edwards has been a very nice D tackle, solid, so we're not going to overpay. Joselio Hansen, he's been serviceable for us. We'll have to come back to the table. Other than that, man, all right, we're looking Gucci for in-house signs. We'll come back to the table for Hansen and Chris Mcallister in the secondary. These guys want to get paid a little bit more money, but in terms of in-house, we're not going to be losing anyone too significant in the offseason. And at the end of year 3, we won the last 2 games in a row to win the AFC North and get a bye at 10-6, which is kind of crazy seeing that. There's been times I got 13 wins and I don't get a bye, but it's very weak here. I'll take that. Okay. Sure, we'll take the bye. Appreciate you. We're a 93 overall, 97 offense, 95 defense. I mean, it's a common thing here in the Ultimate Rebuilds that our teams are going to be very high overalls. You need to understand that teams across the league, it doesn't offset. You know what I'm saying? Or it does offset, actually. Like, all the other teams around the league are fairly high as well. Matt Leinart, anyway, for our stats here in year 3, almost 3,900 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. Not bad. 1,400 yards, 10 tutties for Jamal Lewis, who is up to a 98 overall. One of the best running backs of that era that doesn't get talked about enough. Mark Clayton went over 1,000 yards, 6 tutties. Gaffney, 704, 845, and 6 from the rookie Ted Ginn. 602 for Todd Heap. I'm not going to lie, for a tight end, that's a 96 overall. I'd like to see a little bit better numbers there to Todd Heap. Defensively, Paulie led the team with 110 tackles, 13 TFLs, 8 sacks. Bart Scott also had 104 tackles. We got 18 sacks from T-Sizzle. He is a madman. 5 picks from Chris Mcallister, who we were able to work out a 1-year deal with, and a long-term extension with Joselio Hansen. Taking a look here at the yearly awards, MVP went to Chad Pennington. In the AFC, Offensive Player of the Year went to Chad Pennington. Jamal Lewis coming at number 9. Defensive Player of the Year went to Jonathan Vilma, with Paulie at number 2. Suggs at number 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to John Beck. Okay. Ted Ginn coming in at number 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to John Beeson. And we had nobody, unfortunately, making the list. So the individual success wasn't huge. Wasn't off the charts here for the Baltimore Ravens. But we did get a first-round bye, back-to-back playoffs, since Matt Leinart has been our starting quarterback. We're walking in here to the Divisional Round, taking on the 9-7 Kansas City Chiefs. And into the Divisional Round, we skunked them 41-13. A huge third quarter. We put up 21 points. Looking at the day, Matt Leinart was almost perfect. 256, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 163 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns for Jamal Lewis. Ted Ginn in his first playoff game, 5 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the defensive side, we got Johnson, got 2 sacks, a sack for T-Sizzle, as we are moving on to the AFC Championship game to take on the New York Football Jets. And looking at the conference championship, we knock off the Jets 28-17. Really dominated them until the fourth quarter. I'm assuming we pulled our starters looking at that. 4 touchdowns for Matt Leinart. Clutch as clutch can be in his second season. Jamal Lewis was effective. Ted Ginn, another touchdown. The guy does not know what it feels like to play in a playoff game and not score a touchdown. Defensively was okay, even though we shut them out. We didn't get a lot of turnovers or sacks. But that is perfectly fine, as it sets up a Super Bowl matchup against the Green Bay Packers. We're getting into it, man. Anytime we get the Super Bowl, better believe I'm hopping in. Let's see if we can win a Super Bowl with the Ravens here in year 3 of 5 in the Ultimate Rebuild. All right, we have our opening drive on offense. 4th and 1 at midfield. I mean, you got Jamal Lewis. We're going to go for it, man. We're a power run offense. We want to set the tone of the game. Let's go. He gets it right up the middle. He's a tank. He's a beast. Moves the chains for the Ravens. Drive continues. Come on, make that 4th down conversion mean something. 3rd and 9. Todd Heap's our big weapon across the middle. These guys we're going to be utilizing. I'm telling you, he's got to have like 200 yards when all's said and done. Their linebackers suck at covering him. Ooh, they're stacking right up how we want to. Get your blocks, Jamal Lewis. Takes it to the outside. Oh, come on. You got to fight your way. You got to punch that one in there. I'm a little bit skeptical now. 2nd and goal on the 1. If you can't get in there, I don't know what my confidence level is to execute a C4 special, but all right. Okay, let's try it one more time. Come on, Jamal, you're a 98 overall, bud. It's one simple play. He's exhausted. Get him out for someone with fresh legs. We got Maurice Clarett there. He got 8 touchdowns on the season. How about he substitutes in? He's a nice little speed option. Come on, man. Go mesh. 3rd and goal. We got shoot clock on, trying to prevent the overpowered Packers from doing a whole lot here. Let's go. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Not much there. And we eat a sack. Settle for a field goal. Garbage offense. Man, that was shit execution. Oh, let's go, Todd Heap in the world's most boring Super Bowl. Finally, explosive play. Downfield. 1st and 10. 3-3. Literally, I cannot run the ball to save my life right now. I am playing on default sliders. That's probably my biggest mistake. But that has it. Oh, that's a terrible pass. That's probably my biggest critique right now, is I'm playing on bad sliders. But 2nd and 10. Come on, we got to punch this in. Get a touchdown. First touchdown is going to win. Oh, let's go. That is perfect pocket awareness to connect with Jabbar Gaffney for the opening touchdown of the game. Let's go, Leinart. This is your biggest play of your career, Leinart. Go for the first down, and he did on 3rd and 12 in the 4th quarter. There's that Heisman pedigree right there. There we go. Finally truck someone over. That's going to bring us a Super Bowl. Real ugly. This was like the scoreline of a Super Bowl from like 1938. But we'll take it. There wasn't even a Super Bowl back then. There we go. It only took us 3 years, but we got a Super Bowl title with the Baltimore Ravens. Already way better start than the last series of the Ultimate Rebuilds with the NFC North, which we didn't win any Super Bowls throughout the first 10 years. And we won one here in year 3 with a very nice Baltimore Ravens squad. I think above it all, the fact that we took the leap of faith to draft Matt Leinart and not only make this, an Ultimate Rebuild series where we're competing against ourselves, but also understand that because we're starting in 2005, there's going to be opportunities where we can get guys that were utter busts in the National Football League and try and turn their careers around. Matt Leinart, pretty much got drafted, Heisman Trophy winner out of USC. USC, probably one of the most overrated schools, at least from the quarterback position standpoint. Went to Arizona, got beat out by Kurt Warner. The rest was history. Now he's like a panelist somewhere on like ABC or college football or something like that. We got him. He's now an 85 overall and a Super Bowl champion. We'll find out if he got Super Bowl MVP. If I had to guess, might go someone on the defense. Could go Todd Heap. I mean, they could give it to Leinart. It was a clean game. And they gave it to... They didn't even give it to anyone. Oh, Jamal Lewis. They gave it to Jamal Lewis. I disagree with that, but I guess he did get the touchdown at the end. I think he had probably 80-some yards and a tutty. But we got a Super Bowl. Matt Leinart is a Super Bowl champion, and we still have 2 more years left of the Ultimate Rebuild of the Baltimore Ravens to go. Can we make this into a dynasty? How good of a team can we build so that when we move on to the next team in the AFC North, it's going to be utterly impossible and completely rage-inducing? Well, as we let Matt Leinart hoist up the Lombardi Trophy, let's find out. So after winning the Super Bowl, we didn't sign anyone in free agency, and the draft was fairly good in the first round. We brought in Calais Campbell. Pretty much can be versatile all over the defensive line. He is a 77 star. Second round, we got Steve Slayton. I needed to bring in some speed to complement Jamal Lewis because, let's be honest, he wasn't playing particularly well for us. So he's 74, I think just normal, but you can see he has some good speed to him, 92 speed. 94 acceleration. A little bit annoyed. Matt Forte went like a couple picks before that. He's the guy I was targeting. Third round, we got Brandon Carr, who's currently a member of the Baltimore Ravens. He's 74. Jeff Schwartz, 72. Actually thought I was going to be getting a little bit of a cheese pick because Jeff Schwartz is like a top 5 tackle right now in the National Football League. But his rating was not that great. Hawthorne, depth linebacker. Danny Woodhead at running back, and Danny Amendola at wide receiver. So we're pulling a little bit of a New England Patriots here in the final couple rounds. Looking at the rest of the division, it's a solid draft for us though. The rest of the division, Pittsburgh Steelers got Keith Rivers, 78 outside linebacker. They got Matt Forte in the second round. Jason Jones, 77 in the third round. My God. Okay, they won the draft so far. Bunch of starters all over the place. Bengals got CJ 2K, Chris Johnson, 99 speed, 99 acceleration, 80 overall. They got Martellus Bennett, Dre Moore. Solid draft from then. And the Cleveland Browns got Dwayne Brown at pick 6, tackle. Going double up on offensive line. Got Chairless, 76. The rest of the draft's all right. But, in comparison, our draft might not have been spectacular. But across the board, we're adding a bunch of depth pieces. And I think out of all the players, obviously Chris Johnson wants to be up there. I think we might have had the best single pick in Calais Campbell. Year 4, time to defend the crown, defend the title. Here's our team is shaping up. Actually, a little bit worse. We had some regression, especially on the defensive side. But we're still a 90 overall with a 95 offense, 89 defense. Change on the offense. Our center retired. So we got Stepanovic in 81. He was still just chilling as a free agent. So I was like, cool. We'll bring you in. Outside of that, we've had some progression. Pretty much everyone else on the offense has progressed a little bit. I think the only downgrade was Ogden, went down a point or two, but I'm still not worried. He's still one of the best, if not the best tackle in football. Defense is an 89 overall. We did have some regression. Ray Lewis is only an 82. Ed Reed went down a couple points. Mcallister went down a couple points. But we still got we got monsters, man. Calais Campbell actually got to elevate him to be D tackle 2 along with Franklin. T. Sizzle, best edge rusher in the world, 99 overall. So I'm expecting big time play as we look to defend the title in year 4. Halfway point of year 4, 4-2-1. First place in the AFC North. We're the top dogs as expected. and I firmly believe, worst case scenario, we will squeak into the playoffs. Look at the contracts. Jamal Lewis, even though you did win Super Bowl MVP, I was kind of frustrated with your play, but for the time being, you're still pretty damn good. Chris Mcallister wants another one-year deal, and you led the team with picks last season, so we'll bring you back. Mark Clayton, really nice wide receiver, 90 overall. Quick dev, get him locked up. Adam Terry, great player on our offensive line. Was originally a tackle, moved him to guard. He's excelled. Jabbar Gaffney has great rapport, great chemistry with Matt Leinart. Don't want to mess that up, so we'll make sure we come back to the table with that. I mean, these guys are good. Jason Brown, Bowen are all right. They got quick devs, but we don't have a whole lot of money to be just throwing around here willy-nilly. So we'll hammer out a deal with Gaffney. I won't rule out Bowen and Brown, but these guys are just depth players for the time being, and we need to save our bucks. And at the end of year 4, back to defend the crown. It's an ugly record, but the wild card still counts. Upgrade a couple players here. Feel real good about the team, the squad. As we look, we're 95 overall, 99 offense, 95 defense. Proud of it. I'm proud of the team we've built. Won the division in ugly AFC North. 9-6-1 takes the title. Matt Leinart, 3,900 yards, 27 tutties, 9 picks. Hey, you know what? He plays well without us. I'll take that. 1,613 from Jamal Lewis, huge. Mark Clayton, only guy going over 1,000 yards. Defensively, Bart Scott, huge season taking over for Ray Lewis. That's the center of that defense. And T-Sizzle, 26 TFLs, 20.5 sacks. He's a god. He's an absolute god. He might even get some MVP considerations. MVP went to Tom Brady. Jamal Lewis at 4. Oh, come on. You got to reward the dude a little bit. Jamal Lewis, runner-up for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to T-Sizzle. Terrell Suggs, with Bart Scott coming in at 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Steve Slayton, number 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Keith Rivers. Calais Campbell coming in at number 3. So we had a lot of individual success. Team success was okay. So let's get into this first game. Wild card against the Raiders. We're just going to sim it up. Trust the same sim that got us to the Super Bowl last time will be in our favor yet again. And against the Raiders, just edging them out 28-25. I mean, we dominated, giving up 22 points in the fourth quarter. Pretty damn embarrassing, but at least we didn't choke it. 2 touchdowns and a pick for Leinart. Huge day, Jamal Lewis. And on the defensive side, 3 sacks from Tommy Foley, 2 from T-Sizzle, 2 picks for Carter and Tramon Williams as we're moving on to the divisional round to take on the New England Patriots. Actually, what I just did there was called foreshadowing. We played the Houston Texans and beat them by 1, and then in conference champ, we're taking on the Patriots. We beat them 24-23, 1-point victory, a huge fourth quarter from the Baltimore Ravens. Leinart has been all right. He's had turnovers in both games, but he's moving the rock. Mark Clayton, huge performance, 9 catches, 140 yards, 2 tutties. On the defensive side, a couple sacks. He got a pick from Josely Johansson, and then we are back in the AFC Championship game. This time it's the Patriots. Let's bring the pain. Let's bring the pain! All right. Moving on to year 5. We didn't sign anybody in free agency. Wasn't much there. So looking at our final draft as we make the attempt to get to 3 straight AFC Championship games. In the first round, we got Sebastian Vollmer. He's a right tackle out of Houston, 76 star. We're going to slide him to left tackle as John Ogden has retired. We literally have no one that can play. Then we just needed a backup. So I figured, hey, Mark Sanchez, still first round. Doesn't look like Mark Sanchez at all. But we got him in here. 2 USC quarterbacks. Maybe we're causing a QB car. I don't know. Just maybe I'm setting them up in case the Baltimore Ravens, without me, can't re-sign Matt Leinart. They have an option here in Sanchez. And then we just pretty much filled out the rest of the depth chart here. Got some solid picks. Donnell Ellerby in the 5th round. He's a 73. That worked out fairly well. Looking at the rest of the division, the Pittsburgh Steelers got Andre Smith in the 1st round. Eben Britton in the 2nd round. He actually hosts, fun fact, he hosts a podcast about smoking pot with Mike Tyson. True story. Ladarius Webb, who actually spent some time with the ball, or was actually really good for the Baltimore Ravens in the 3rd round. Ramon Foster, the Big Ray Goo, in the 7th round, reuniting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at the Bengals. They got James Laurinaitis in the 1st round, Akeem Nicks in the 2nd. This guy, that's a 76 in the 3rd, Tony Fiamata, and then the 4th, 77 fullback. Okay. Alex Boone in the 7th, he's a 74. Looking at the Browns, who have always had a top 5 pick. Let's be honest, this is the team that we're going to be taking over next. Clay Matthews in the 1st round, 78. Beanie Wells in the 2nd, he's a 77. Matt Stafford, because QBs are not valued in the draft for whatever reason. Matt Stafford, A 78 superstar falls to the 3rd round. Now, if this is anything unlike the Matt Stafford that we've seen in the sim that's cursed, I'm pumped to take over the Browns next. I think that's what we're going to do. It was a good draft, but hey, come on. We still got the Ravens for one more season. Let's get another Super Bowl ring. So as we get ready for year 5, final year, here's how our team's shaping up. 92 overall, 93 offense, 93 defense. Offensive line, we're welcoming big old German Sebastian Vollmer to the O-line. Seeing some development from Ted Ginn. Clayton's a 92. Other than that, not much has changed on the offense. Defensively, a 93. Calais Campbell is starting to take over and develop. T. Sizzle's the best defensive end in the National Football League. Paul Posluszny has been promoted to an outside linebacker role with just great development behind Ray Lewis. He's the disciple. We're still going to have Ray Lewis start because it's Ray Lewis. Might be the weak link. Might be able to improve our defensive rating up a little bit if we move Scott back inside to have Pulley outside. Don't care. Ray Lewis, he gonna play. He gonna get minutes. He gonna get minutes, baby. Let's go year 5. And at the end of year 5, of course, it's all gonna come crashing down, and we're not even gonna make the 7-9 bang on average. The Bengals finally having a breakout year, but I mean, this is actually like as good as the team's been. 94 overall, 97, 95. I think 95 might have been the highest we reached the year we won the Super Bowl. I mean, we got Matt Leinart as a 90 overall now. Giddens almost a 90. Jerry Evans 96. Damn, that's disappointing. Calais Campbell's now in the 90s. T. Sizzle's. Teron Williams is a 91. Paul Posluszny's almost into the 90s. Like, these are the players that we drafted and built, and we're getting rewarded with a 7-9 record to end the episode. Looking at the stats real quick. I mean, let's be honest, Matt Leinart's never been amazing, but he's definitely been a good quarterback. He's been an NFL, playoff caliber quarterback, and went on a huge playoff run for us. He has a Super Bowl championship. You can't take that away from him. He was a first-round bust in real life, and we've gotten up to a 90 overall. We've won a Super Bowl title. Now we're going to have to go up against him for the next, 10 years plus playing against him in this division. Jamal Lewis is starting to slow down just a little bit. He had an all right season. No 1,000-yard receivers. Clayton was close. Arush Madu, 14 touchdowns. Sure. 103 tackles. Bart Scott. T. Sizzle's been a monster, man. Absolute beast. 14 TFLs, 14.5 sacks. A couple picks from Mcallister, who's also been very, very consistent. As just see who won the MVP real quick. Peyton Manning won himself an MVP award. As we go crashing, we fall and we go crashing, and we have to pick the next team. I'm already telling you, I already decided the team that we'll be doing next is the Browns, because every draft outside of this year, we actually finally had a slight turnaround, 7-8-1. The Browns have picked top 5. I wanna reap the awards of that team. I won't do the preview. I don't want to give away what players we saw like the draft. They got Vince Young. They got Calvin Johnson. They got Matt Stafford last year in the 3rd round, which is ridiculous. Superstar. So, come back next. It's actually going to be pretty quick. These videos are going to be uploaded a little bit quicker so we can get through as many teams as possible without spamming it, without burning myself out, trying to find that middle ground. So, in about a day or 2-3 days tops, we will have the next episode of the Ultimate Rebuild of the AFC North as we take over the Cleveland Browns. So, make sure you guys come back for that. As always, we're giving away some tonight. Whatever you gotta make sure you watch it tonight. Some beta codes, some Madden 20 beta codes. If you're subscribed to the channel, you might have an approved chance. How do I do that? Got some mysterious stuff going on behind the scenes. Also follow my Twitter and check the tweet, retweet, all that stuff. I got a bunch of codes to get rid of. A bunch of PlayStation, a bunch of Xbox. So make sure you get involved and get into that opportunity, because I do want to help people that are going to maximize and utilize the beta to give really good feedback so that the Madden 20 on release is very, very good. So, stay posted with all that. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4, saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit when you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr.